the most common stereotype of the Asian perception of the Western culture would probably be them being lazy.
I have, heard of, friends talk about, whether Westerners are lazy and don't work hard or anything like that.
Like to go out drinking on a Friday night, etc. Not very hard working.
I think I've encountered more the positive stereotypes, I guess, in terms of the Aussie larrikin who's cracking a joke and playing a prank on someone and cooking the barbie and all that kind of stuff. And if anything, I'm seeing more of those kind of qualities in in Asian men that have grown up in Melbourne. They've taken on what is seen as sort of those typical Australian characteristics.
I'd always been told Asians were very studious and very hard-working.
There are stereotypes about Chinese people being workaholic and just knowing work and do not know how to enjoy life. I think that's true in some extent. I used to be like that because I thought, I want to retire as early as possible, maybe by 45 or 50 I want to retire. So that's I've tried to earn as much as possible. But what I found is that life doesn't work like that.
One of the universal truths about marriage is money. And in the age of the prenup, there is an onus on all new couples to be clear about the cash.
I think with all good relationships, if people communicate, for example, about money, right in the early stages when they know they're going to live together and they share what their position, what their thinking is, if it's important to them to maintain a separate identity and keep their own finances as their own selves, then they need to be clear about that. But people need to work out what are deal breakers. And if there's a deal breaker that is there and it's not dealt with, it's going to end up causing a crack in the relationship.
One of the prevailing urban myths surrounding Asian Western marriages is that Asian women are marrying for the money.
If they typically might come from a more third world area, then sometimes there can be some stereotype that the woman wants to be looked after and the white man to provide. But if we're looking at relationships where the financial status of the Caucasian Asian families are on a par, then that is typically not such a problem.
We have a business Asian promise, which my husband and I run together for 11 years. From our observation, there are people, they use this away for passport. But there are not many. The majority of the ladies from our website, they looking a foreign husband because they cannot find love in China.
In terms of money as well, it's also very equal. We're both put into the mortgage. It's not like, you earn more money so you put more in and I earn less money, or whatever the case may be. So we try to keep things pretty fair.
I think for Chinese people, we think that if two people get married, they should be sharing the finances and sharing the money that people earn. But you do have say, don't you?
I do have say, of course I do have say when we go shopping and all that, but generally he's the manager in the department. Yeah, I'm very easy with that actually. He's a good money keeper.
Yeah.
He can grow the money and he can keep the money as well, which is really good. If I was in the control, probably I would spend it all.
Yeah.
Since everything in the home has to be paid for, attitudes to work and career can also impact on a marriage. Especially when cultural expectations get in the way.
The stereotype wasn't correct, basically, that the Westerners seems to be lazier, but I think they more enjoy life than Chinese people. And the Chinese people tend to be workaholic and they don't know how to enjoy life.
Work used to be something that finished at a regular kind of shift of hours, and then you had home life. Now there's quite a blur.
For Jason, his commitment to work and earning money nearly cost him a whole lot more than he bargained for.
I was so concentrating in my work and trying to earn money as much as possible, hoping to retire early, but I neglect the relationship so much so. What I found is that I took her for granted. I expect her to do this and this and that. I become very demanding. Also, I become very controlling as well, just because my mind was occupied by something else. Just drifted away, didn't see the picture, and relationship wasn't on the priority list for me.
Fortunately for Jason and Marcella, it was not the end of the road.
As a result, we planned to have the second child to spice up the life a little bit. I think that's a good result, I think. I think marriage is marriage. Doesn't matter if you're marrying somebody within your culture or marry somebody outside your culture. There's still a lot of difficulty, hurdles to maintain a relationship. You have to really working on the relationship day after day after day. You cannot ignore the relationship for a period of time and hoping that we'll go the right direction, because people will grow apart. I think cross-cultural marriage perhaps would have more difficulties because of language difficulties and the beliefs and values. So that make me more determined to work on the relationship.
People are very different. So when there are cultural differences, they're actually a lot easier because we can actually learn about them. So if somebody's in a mixed relationship where there are two different cultures, they really need to get excited about that and look at, well, what are the things in your culture that are different? Well, maybe it's that I don't display affection in public. It's rude for me to do this. So okay, I respect that and I won't do that. But it's about sharing with communication that always helps a relationship improve.
It is the human qualities that's the core of the relationship. You have a male and a female, and it's about those two parties coming together and learning to share and live together and embracing each other. And it's about loving and caring for each other. The rest of it is colour, it's spice. Frankly, I really couldn't see myself ever in anything but the relationship I've got. It's like you've opened a box of chocolates and you've picked up the best chocolate to start with. You're not going to go back to a second grade chocolate. To have that multiculturalism is an amazing experience.
Next week on Love Knows No Bounds, we learn about the importance and the pressures of friends and family as our four couples navigate the sometimes tricky path of true love.